again to Miss Van Ness's class and Mr. Norton's class. I hope that you guys enjoyed your lesson on Wednesday where we read Sunny, one of my favorite books, and we talked a little bit about the sounds of the city and what you might hear outside your window. I kind of wanted to continue with that idea, the sounds of the city being the idea. And I actually found another book called Symphony City. It's by Amy Martin. Here's Symphony City. And a symphony, because it does have to do with music. Sorry again for that being backwards. I'll have to figure out how to switch the words around so you guys can see them. So Symphony City is about a girl walking through her city and the sounds that she hears. Now this book is done a little bit differently than Sunny. Sunny was kind of a story of what people you'll meet in the city, what sounds they'll be making, and this book is more that this girl in the story finds her city sounds to be kind of an escape, to be really beautiful and calming. So I wanted to give this book a look as well. You can see it has some pretty gold birds on the cover. They also go around the back. This is a very old book, as you can see. It's got a lot of wear and tear. Even my cover has a little bit of writing on it. I'm sad about it. But Amy Martin, she's talking about a symphony in this book. Now a symphony is a piece of music. It's a type of music, usually, that involves an orchestra, a full orchestra. So not just violins playing, not just violas playing, not just cellos and not just basses, but it would also have a woodwind section. So you might hear a bass clarinet player in a symphony piece. You might hear an oboe player in a symphony piece. They'll also usually have a brass section, so you'll hear trumpet, you'll hear trombone, French horn, all of those really great brass instruments. Can't forget about tuba. I've tried to play tuba and it is difficult. You need a lot of air going. A symphony would also usually have a large percussion part, so we're talking about not just drums, but maybe timpani. It's a type of drum that makes a pitch sound instead of just you're hitting it to keep a steady rhythm. They'll also have bass drums and all kinds of really cool things like xylophones and things that you play with mallets and all that kind of stuff. So all of that goes into a symphony that you would hear. And I think, well, actually I'm going to leave that till the end. That's going to be one of my questions is, what do you think Amy Martin means when she says that this city is a symphony? Okay, so just keep that in mind as we read Symphony City by Amy Martin. I really like these end pages. It makes me think about art and how it has the primary colors. It has your red here, your yellow here, your blue here. Symphony City by Amy Martin. Oh, and I really like her dedication on this one as well. You can see it has a little record player there. And the inscription says, "For Robert Van Allsburg, who gave me sheet music for every birthday." Oh, so that's why she probably wrote a book about music, right? And Esther Tanis Van Allsburg, who taught me how to draw. Oh, okay, so we found out just from reading this dedication that Amy Martin both wrote the words for this book and she also drew the pictures. All right, let's start. So I think we probably have maybe a picture of our friend Amy here with her grumpy face. Let's see them. Nothing to do. She seems kind of bored, sitting in her house. Oh, I see maybe her parents or somebody's over here having a conversation. We can make it if we hurry. Oh, so she's talking about, she saw a newspaper article that says, free concert today, Symphony City Orchestra downtown. And off Amy goes to try and go see it. She's riding the subway. We have a subway in our town as well. The station is empty at first. Then the train comes, and it is very crowded. For sure, yeah. Wow, look how many people decided to get on the train with her. I try to hold on tight. Also, she's got somebody's hand right here that she's supposed to stay with. Uh-oh. But I let go. Hope nothing bad happens to our friend on the subway without her person to hold her hand. There are too many people. Oh gosh, yeah, wow, there really are a lot of people in this subway station. And then, none. Uh-oh. That make it seem like she's all alone. Oh, but I do see some birds kind of coming into the subway platform with her. Oh, and she follows the birds, and this is what she finds. Hello. So she found a friend who's in the subway playing their instrument, playing the flute. You can see over here. Oh, and they do a little close-up for you. So you can really see that them pressing the keys on the flute is making those little birds fly by. I can find my own way if I follow the sound. Oh, okay, so I'm thinking maybe these birds are kind of supposed to be the notes that she's hearing, the music that she's hearing in the subway. So if she follows them, because they're all kind of going in this direction over here, maybe she'll be able to find her way out or to the concert. Up to the city. Oh, and you can see she started out down here in the subway terminal, and she's following that sound. You can see the birds climbing out and spreading through their city. There is music around every corner. Oh, so even standing at a stop sign, you can see there's a gentleman sitting here on the sidewalk. He has his piano, and it looks like a lot of the neighborhood cats really like to hear him play, so they all came around to sit with him at his piano. That's really nice. And you can see our symphony birds are still kind of flying out and away. It comes from the street. So we got a drummer on the street too. And fills the sky. So now I'm seeing some things about maybe what city Amy Martin is talking about here. So I see a lot of rain, which usually to me means that we're probably in the northwest of the country, so like Washington State and that kind of area. And you can also see right here, this building usually It could either be one of two buildings. It could be the Space Needle in Seattle, or it could be the CN Tower, and that is in Toronto in Canada. So maybe we'll be able to figure it out by the rest of the story. It pours in waves through open windows. Oh, so she's still walking around her city. She sees somebody in their house, and actually this is the French horn that I was just talking about before. It has a lot of keys in it, and actually to play it, you have to stick your hand inside the end. So weird. Never understood that about French horns. And expands. Ooh, so now we can see the rain has, in her imagination, almost flooded her city, and that she needs a big boat in order to navigate all of the sounds that she's hearing, all of the waves of sound. And we've still got a few birds that are showing her the way. It starts as a sprout, then grows into a forest. So they're even talking about music like it's a tree or something, right? That they're saying it starts with a sprout, with a seed, and then it grows. Music grows the same way a forest would grow. And it starts small and gets bigger and bigger. It drifts through the trees. Still following it pretty closely. We even have another musician up here, and she has her two mallets. She's hitting her instrument down here. And that is probably a xylophone that she's playing down there. And soars over the city. Oh, these balloons are really cool. They're supposed to be like parade balloons, like if you've ever seen those on TV, those really big ones that it takes a lot of people to hold. And it looks like she tried to hold it by herself and she's getting swept away. It leaps and spins across the rooftops. And you can see the sound is turned into ballerina tutus, and the sounds are spinning and dancing. Even the moon wants to listen. Very pretty. Oh, and we can see our musician friend over here. He is really taking it to the house. He has a big accordion around his neck, which it looks like he's playing with one hand. And then in the other hand, he's playing a trumpet. This guy's a pretty good musician if he can make all of that sound like good music together. I can really only play one instrument at a time. And under the stars and street lamps, there is color everywhere. Oh, I see she found a little rock band that's on the street over here in the street light. And she is having her own little dance party right there. And seeing all of these colors and all of this swirling music around her. Pretty neat. Until the streets become quiet again. Oh, so I see maybe our instrumental friend that was playing is putting their instrument away to go home. And that's another thing that makes me think this isn't really Philadelphia. that she's talking about, because have you guys ever heard of a time in Philadelphia where there was no sound happening? Me neither. Ah, but not everyone is asleep. Oh, so before, when she was hearing instrumentalists, it was birds that she was seeing carrying her around the city. But now it looks like a woman is singing, and her singing is actually turning into moths or butterflies that you can see on the screen. The best songs love you back. Oh, that's sweet. It turns out the woman singing was her mom, the one that she was looking for. And she followed her mom's voice, she followed her melody, her singing, back into her arms. And that is the end, my friends. Whew, that is a good book. It also really makes me think about, we were listening out my window during our last video, our last lesson, and I gave you the task of, just opening your window a couple of times and hearing what you can hear out there. And I read you this book today because I wanted to show you that not everybody's city sounds the same. And actually, not everybody's city sounds the same, but not everybody's house is going to sound the same. Not everybody's bedroom is going to sound the same. So every time that you're outside, that you're alone for a second, that things just kind of feel overwhelming, you just got to clear your mind, sit down. Think about, wow, even though I'm sitting here calm, Philadelphia is raging outside. I can hear the hustle and bustle of people still trying to get to work, still trying to do the things that they need to do during this scary time and this stay-at-home order. And appreciate those sounds. You could see that even though it was some loud sounds of the city, right, that there was music happening all around her, that there were cars honking, that there were people shouting to each other, all of that, but she heard the music clear as day, those birds flying out to keep her calm and to take her home. And I hope that you can kind of use some of that in your life. And yeah, I will see everybody again on Monday, bright and early. We have a new lesson, and I'll have a new book for you then, and we're going to do some really fun movement and music mindfulness. So stay tuned. All right, bye everybody.